What is going on, guys? Hope you guys are doing well. Was able to finally unlock the Creeping Death dog tag, which was the final dog tag out of the 4 Apocalypse Affliction dog tags I needed to unlock. So just like I've done in my previous videos where I went about telling you guys how I completed each mission requirement, I want to do that for you guys again today, as the Creeping Death dog tag was probably the most grindy, like, mission requirements that I think I had done yet on Battlefield 1. So definitely some pretty grindy stuff we had going on here, and hopefully I can help you guys out and alleviate the grind a little bit. Now, if you haven't had a chance to check out my previous dog tag videos, I would suggest doing that, as I did go about these dog tags in a specific order, trying to hold off the Creeping Death dog tag to be the final one for me to unlock, as it is a very big grind to it. And as much as I would like to give you guys some great insight that will help alleviate that grind, I mean, really when it comes down to it, you're just gonna have to grind it out. So that is why I tried starting off with some of the other dog tags first, kind of leaving some of these Affliction specializations equipped way back before, so I would be slowly working my way up, chipping away at these requirements, so the time when it came for me to try to unlock this dog tag, the grind wouldn't be as bad. So if you haven't had a chance to check out those, do check them out in the link above. But if you've already unlocked them, or if you want to go straight into Creeping Death, hopefully I can give you maybe some little bit of insights here and there to help you guys out. But with that said, let's go into the first mission for us to do on the Creeping Death dog tag, where we had to perform 200 kills with the Death Toll Affliction equipped. So the Death Toll Affliction is when you lose 200 points every time you die. Now that's only when you accept your death and go into the home spawn screen menu. So if you do get revived from a teammate, you won't end up losing those 200 points. But in this mission requirement, it doesn't need anything to do with those points, and it's all about getting 200 kills. So definitely pretty easy to do. This was actually one of the first ones I had actually completed, as the Creeping Death dog tag was the first dog tag I was going to try to unlock, but once I realized how grindy some of those mission requirements that I'm going to talk about here in a second were, I skipped it and moved on to some of the other dog tags. But the nice thing was I was able to finish up the 200 kills, as definitely a pretty easy one for you to complete, as the death toll doesn't really affect your gameplay at all, just your end round score screen and how that's going to look. If you maybe want to speed the process up, you could equip it on maps that you feel you get a higher kill count on. There's general maps that favor higher kill games. Like normally for me, smaller 5 capture point maps, like Fort Devo or something like that, usually I can rack up some pretty high kills on those games. So maybe if you get some really high kill games, it maybe might only take you maybe 5 or 4 games depending on how well you're doing. But that is one thing that I did notice. If I wanted to speed up the process a bit, you could also equip this alongside some of the other afflictions that you might be more focused on, and you could be kind of just racking up kills in the background, and you don't really have to pay attention too much to this one right here. So nice to know that at least some of the mission requirements for this dog tag weren't too grindy, and it does not really take too much effort to unlock this first one right here. Now moving on to the second one, where we had to get 100,000 points with the Death Toll Affliction equipped. So again, same affliction where we lose those 200 points, and I was able to finish this one up alongside the 200 kills, and these were actually the first 2 mission requirements out of all the dog tags that I actually had completed. But when it came to this one, it will affect your score a bit if you are dying and you are losing points. Again, if you want to have a teammate that is a medic around you to help revive you, that will definitely help. But really when it comes down to it, you could equip this one on the side, be more focused on another mission on the list to do, and you'll be slowly racking up points, and before you know it, you'll already accomplish this mission requirement. So these first two I didn't really focus on at all, and I would just end up just getting just by me focusing on the other missions. So I wouldn't put too much effort into specifically trying to, you know, do well, not die, or play anything too crazy than you would normally do. And don't be too stressed out about it, because there's going to be other mission requirements coming up here that are going to take much longer than these first two for you to complete. So moving on to the third one, which was perform 200 kills, was the Scavenger Affliction equipped. Now, Scavenger Affliction is when you start off with the minimal amount of ammo in your weapon, and you're not able to resupply you. Now, what I did find out after playing with the Scavenger Affliction for a little bit was that you are able to resupply yourself, but only when you go down to no ammo in your gun. So if you find yourself with maybe 1 bullet or 2 bullets in your gun, you won't be able to resupply yourself. But if you go down to 0 bullets, you are able to go and resupply yourself again, but only to the minimum amount of ammo that you started off with. So you still have a bit of a crutch going on here, but at least you're able to get resupplied. Now, what I have found is if you are not emptied with both weapons, it will only resupply the weapon that is completely emptied. So if I have a couple shots left still in my secondary weapon and I have none in my primary, it will resupply my primary. And same with the flip side of that. If I have no shots left in my secondary weapon, but I have a few shots left in my primary, it will resupply my secondary weapon. So if you're a support class, this might kind of work out well for you, because you can at least keep resupplying yourself over and over again. So maybe to make this a bit easier for you, you might want to jump off and play some of the support class. The nice thing is, just like the first mission requirement where you had to get 200 kills, but just with a different affliction, you could equip the Scavenger Affliction alongside the Death Toll Affliction for the first part of these mission requirements, and you'll be working towards those 200 kills at the exact same time. And if you have the support class equipped, you could then be dropping down ammo not only for yourself but for your teammates as well, which will rack up points for you that will hopefully chip away at those 100,000 points for the second mission requirement that you need to do. So again, working these affliction specializations side by side is kind of the idea I had going on for all these dog tags. So that's kind of the approach you kind of want to take, and hopefully that will help you guys out. The nice thing is, these first 3 mission requirements aren't all too bad, and they not so much balance out the next 3, but they are at least not as extreme as what we got coming up right here. So moving on to the 4th of the mission requirements, which was probably the most grindy one I think out of anything I've had on Battlefield 1 so far, and that was perform 500 spot assists with the Peacock Affliction equipped. So the Peacock Affliction is when you stay on spot if an enemy spots you for the remainder of the game or till you get killed. So this one is extraordinarily grindy just because you are left to depend on your teammates to finish those kills. So having a mission requirement where it's really not in your hands and you're dependent on your teammates can make it a bit difficult. Now, my first approach to alleviate this grind was to leave the Creeping Death dog tag alone and not come back to it till later, and go about all the other dog tags first while keeping the Peacock Affliction equipped. So the Peacock Affliction was basically equipped the whole time for me, and I was working on those other dog tags. So by the time I made it to Creeping Death, I actually had knocked out about 250 spotting assists. So I almost basically swiped it down to half, which was not all too bad. So again, that's why I recommend focus on all the other missions, and you kind of working this one on the side, so when the time came for you to deal with it, it wasn't as monumental of a climb for you to deal with, because those 500 spotting assists is definitely pretty grindy. Now, there's one thing I did learn that you're going to want to do, and that is alongside the Peacock Affliction, you're going to want to equip the Awareness Specialization, as this is one of the new specializations that came out in the Apocalypse DLC, and it keeps the enemies that you spotted on spot for 25% longer. And I did notice an improvement when I had this equipped. previously working on the other dog tags, I was, again, trying to keep that method of keeping different afflictions equipped at the exact same time. But once I was dealing with this dog tag, and the last of the mission requirements that I was going to complete was this specific one here to get the 500 spotting assist, I finally just, needed to only have the Peacock affliction equipped, so I equipped the awareness alongside of it, and it definitely helped. Now, I did notice as well, playing on smaller maps does help as well too, as the distance between the enemy players and your teammates are not much of a distance, and it gives them more of a chance to take out that enemy player. So playing on those large maps where you're spotting enemy players across the map, where you're hoping maybe your teammate with a scout class will snipe them or something like that, I don't see it as effective as maybe playing on smaller maps like Passchendaele that I've been on lately. It seemed like when I was playing on Passchendaele, I was really knocking these off, and I was really progressing much quicker than what I was doing before. So smaller maps with the awareness specialization, I think, will definitely help the grind, as well as hopefully you guys have the chance to start off on some of those other dog tags, so when you come to this one, it's not as grindy. Again, I wish I could give you guys some crazy insight of what would help, but what I know is that's basically the best way I was able to go about doing this. Now, do keep in mind that the only way for you to spot them is just by using your player and using the spot button on the controller, or if you're playing on the PC, whatever input that is. Again, you can't be using a scout class's flare, or maybe the camera on some of the bombers to spot enemy players, but you just have to get in the trenches and be an infantry player and spot people just like that. So again, hopefully there's a little bit of help there with the awareness specialization. Definitely the more grindy one, if not the most grindy one on all of the mission requirements on Battlefield 1. But that is my approach on completing a specific mission requirement. And finally, the last mission requirement I chose to do to complete the Creeping Death dog tag was perform 500 revives with the Reaper Affliction equipped. So the Reaper Affliction is when you lose a point of health per second on the battlefield, and the only way for you to re-heal yourself is by getting a kill and then getting healed by a medic class. So the best approach to handle this one is to definitely have the medic class equipped, as again, it's the only way for you to get those 500 revives, as well as it makes it easier when you do get a kill. You can just drop a health crate down and re-heal yourself. So now what I have learned over time by using this affliction is you can equip the reciprocity specialization, where you get about 12.5 points of health every time you heal a teammate, and that does stack. So you can be laying down a health crate along with the syringe gadget that you'll have equipped for your medic class, and you can keep healing your teammates after you revive them, and once they're getting their health boosted up, you'll find your health being boosted up as well. So you don't have to kind of be floating around and trying to hunt for those kills and finding your health get really low, and you're easily able to get shot in the foot and get yourself killed. But you can kind of stick around your teammates, you can keep re-healing them, and with that reciprocity specialization, you will begin to accumulate health. I did find myself on playing maps like Monte Grappa on operations, where we were in the bunkers trying to hold it down, and I was just running around reviving my teammates with reciprocity and the Reaper Affliction equipped. So every time I was losing that point of health every second, I was regaining it every time I re-healed my teammates. So that was definitely helpful. I did just recently make a video on the Reaper Affliction for you guys to check out, that really goes into depth every little tactic I have. The big one is the reciprocity specialization. That's why I want to make mention of it in this video. But if you do want to go check out that video in the link, you can go check that out. Hopefully that'll help you out with this mission requirement. Do keep in mind that there are other specializations for the medic class that will help you a little bit with the revive. So if you want to equip that alongside the Reaper Affliction, you can go do that. I didn't do that as I was, again, trying to grind out the Peacock 500 spotting assist. So I didn't have these other two specializations that might have helped, such as Stimulant Syringe that increases your speed by 20% after you revive a teammate, or Concealed Rescue that gives you a smoke screen when you spot a teammate that needs to be revived. So these may help you out if you want to take that approach. Again, that wasn't my approach. I stuck with the Peacock Affliction alongside Reciprocity and the Reaper Affliction. I wanted to get as many spotting assists as I could, no matter what mission I was doing. But if you want to maybe take a different route, you can maybe equip those, and maybe that will help you guys out. But that was my approach on unlocking Creeping Death. I didn't get a chance to destroy a behemoth with the Calibre, as I was mainly playing on the Apocalypse DLC maps, which don't have any behemoths. The behemoths that come out are the elite classes, so didn't really have an opportunity to take out any of the behemoths. So you probably want to be on maps that have behemoths that do come out. Now, don't feel discouraged thinking how that might seem still impossible, trying to kill a behemoth with a Calibre. If you shoot these pistols at tanks, even they don't do any damage to them, but if you do shoot the Calibre at, let's say, a stick of dynamite, and that dynamite explodes, you will get the kill with the Calibre. So you can see plenty of these videos on YouTube. You type in Calibre kill behemoth BF1, and you'll find people parachuting down on the airships or getting right next to the train and just dropping some dynamite down and shooting the dynamite with the Calibre. So it's something that I think is doable. I just really kind of wanted to play on the Apocalypse DLC maps, and I realized that I was getting pretty close to getting this 500 spotting assist done with, so I really didn't make too much of a focus on getting the behemoth kill. But if you are on those maps and the opportunity does arise, I would suggest having the Calibre equipped, getting some smoke with you too to give you a smoke screen cover, and popping in at a good time when the behemoth is somewhat low, and you can hopefully drop some dynamite down, or have maybe some anti-tank mines alongside of it, and you could shoot either one of those, and if it blows up and kills the behemoth with your Calibre initiating that explosion, then you're going to get a Calibre kill. So that is a really quick way that hopefully some of you will be able to get, and that can hopefully have you to be able to skip that 500 spot and assist, because again, this was a very, very grindy dog tag to complete. But feel free to let me know your guys' thoughts down below, how you guys approached unlocking this dog tag. If you guys had a different strat, I'm sure there'll probably be a good chunk of you that will probably try to skip the 500 spot and assist and maybe go straight to killing that behemoth. And if you get that, then props to you, man, on that. That will definitely help you guys out. But again, that's basically it for you guys there. Definitely hyped that I was actually able to complete this. I hope you guys are able to complete them too. These dog tags are pretty cool. But that is basically it for you guys today. Again, I appreciate you guys being here. I am Living, and I'll catch you guys again later. Peace.